All right, I'm in the African Wilds tournament. I'm on the weekend round in the rookie division. I'm on the back nine. I so this is one of those tournaments where we have to pick up all three of the par fours. So when we look at what our score is, like all of these, hole number, let me get my pen going. Hole number one, hole number four, hole number eight. We have to get those. So just getting eagles on the par threes, birdies on the par, or excuse me, birdies on the par threes, eagles on the par fives, and we have to get those to get us the minus 15. Then we have to pick something up. We'd like to pick up at least one per side, getting us to 32, because I mean that's where the bracket. I mean I looking at the scores of the tiebreakers above me when we came in, there was a lot of people above me, like 16 people above me, and I came in with a 29, so I had a weak tiebreaker. Had a rough opening round, and so barely made because it was minus 28 was the cutoff. So the bracket was tight at the top. There was in my opening round bracket there was 133, and in this there was one of those 16s was a 33, and then there was I think three or four 32s, and then there was 129 that was higher than me, and they had a better um, opening round, or excuse me, qualifying round. They had like a 16 or a 17 qualifying round. So you're gonna have to shoot a 33, which means I've got to get a 18. So I got to pick up the three. Then I got to pick up three more. And I was super. I mean, I was super close on three of the shots. I mean, like rolled one of them. Well, four if you count that one. I rolled over the cup, had a little bit too much speed on one of the par threes, but I was aiming for the flagpole. It was hit the flagpole and go in the hole or bounce out. Those were my two choices, and I missed it. Hole 10. Okay, hole number one. And this hole, I'm. This is a. This is the toughest of the par fours, and I've had some luck on this hole this week, but this hole I've been right on the verge of not having some luck on this hole. So let's, I'm just going to bring, on the front I brought one of the balls that has a little bit of topspin boost, and I'm not doing that. I'm just going to bring out a Kingmaker, and I'm going to bring my number 5 bag. I'm going to bring an APOC to this party. Let's see which way the wind's blowing. I've been doing a plus 20%. And with the way the wind's blowing here, I am going to do the plus 20%. I'd rather over pull it at that angle than under pull it at that angle. So, and in the rounds leading up to this, this has been a popular wind direction. Plus 20. Max top spin. All right, here we roll. Here we go. What happened to me last time was I came through there and I actually missed the rough and had way too much speed coming through and ended up hitting one of those signs. But I was using a topspin boost ball, and that was I think that was the difference. I was still using 3 side spin, but I should have done it with just 1 extra topspin, and I had 2 on there. You don't need a lot of topspin, a lot of extra. Hey, you can max out. There you go. You have 4 rings and just a titch off. That'd be 3/6. It's about a ring and 3/4. Max curl. Hitting it perfect. Let's see if we can get the run through the gap. Whew. Barely. With the little teeny, if you have one of the topspin boost balls and you put 1 topspin on it, the 1 topspin puts it not only changes how fast it's rolling through there, but it puts it will end up rolling up more on the right hand side, so it actually puts it up there a little bit more, so it goes through the center of the fairway. I am glad I put at the beginning of the week I was trying out to see how many rings, it's a blind curl shot, how many rings off I needed to be. I started off at 3, and that was definitely not enough. the 4.25, 4.5. That seems about almost right. Okay, where am I at? Oh, fuck, I missed it. I hit that 2 ring straight. I missed it. I could hit it 1 ring great to the left or the right from that distance, but 2 ring straight was a killer. And I might have been able to get away with on the right-hand side a 2 ring great. And because it's drifting, once it starts rolling, it's drifting a little bit. Kind of not so much funneling to the hole, but it is drifting to the left if you got your speed right. But a 2 ring great to the left is a killer. Oh, now I'm in a deep asshole. I already had to pick up 3. Now I got to pick up 4. We can do it. We can do it, water boy. This is where I peaked in the practice round. One of the rounds, the practice round, and I did get a 16 in the opener, or excuse me, the qualifying round, and I got 116 on the backside in the opener. Shot a 13 on the front side in the opener, so it can happen. Damn it! All right, let's forget about that hole and let's just sink them all. I'm going to make an agreement with all of you right now. I'm just going to sink them all from this point forward. I'm not going to bring my putter. Screw this putter. It's a draw. That is, brutal. Hole number. Okay, this big par 5, extra mile power 5 ball. And this is a dangerous par 5. Of the par 5s, this is the toughest of the par 5s. And it is by far the most dangerous. You can get in trouble on the other ones, but this one, you can, if you're being aggressive with it, you can get in some trouble. Let me get my stuff first. Let me make sure I've got a Berserker, which I think is the lowest wind power 5 ball I have. No, I think I have one of those Albatross balls, but we don't need the topspin boost. And I need a Goliath for the drive if I can get into the right spot. And it is, let me get my calculator going, so if I get into the right spot, there's no guarantee you'll end up in the right spot. The drive is difficult. Let me get my phone turned on, my calculator rolling. Okay, here we go. The drive, I don't need the 30%, so maybe. If I can get an opponent.
Hello, Moto.
Spinning. Maybe I can get an opponent. I wish in tournaments they'd relax the thing so that you could get somebody faster. We're all in the tournament. Okay, I think it's 1 less than max. Three, 2. About a ring and a half. It's like 1 ring great to the right. That will kill me at the end, but I'm over the danger zone. You got to get past that and you're rolling out there, and if you end up in the rough, which I might make it. It was lucky I was on the left hand or the right hand side going that far. I didn't really want to go that far. I went farther than I wanted. I should be in mid Goliath. And mid Goliath is 2.3 per ring. Plus 30%. .3 times whatever the wind is divided by 2.3. I might actually be, I think I am in mid club, but I'm probably closer to min, and that's that would be 2.6. Let's see where I'm at. Oh, I'm almost at mid. There's max way the hell up there, so that's 2.9. So 4.9 equals divided by 2.9. It's 1.2 rings. 1.2 rings. See if we can get lined up with the wind. 1. Man, it's hard to make an adjustment down there. Oh, that was one ring great to the left. And it missed the rough. Falling apart on the back. This is what happened. I'm getting the reverse of what happened to me on the opening round. In the opening round, I actually didn't. I had a glitch on hole number 7, and I was irritated. And then, I don't know, my ball bounced in the sand and then came out of the sand and went all the way across the green. And ended up missing the rough shot on hole number 8. And had 2 holes in a row, and it put me in a bind at minus 13. I mean, minus 13, if you got to shoot, if you got a 28 to get in, that means you've got to get the 15 on the back. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. My buddy Dunner does this second bounce rough bump and has had quite a bit of success at it. But every time I've tried it, I've had a similar result to my opponent, and that's bad. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Woo! Didn't dig too deep a hole. I had to recover on 2 shots on the front. So, jeez. Focus, people. Focus. All right. Now, I mean, it wasn't good I put myself in that position, but at least I didn't dig myself two holes in. It's already bad enough. It works. I'll blame it. I was baking a cake. The very first cake from scratch I've ever made in my entire life. And it was yummy. Well, there's still most of it left, but it is yummy. All right. We have to get a hole-in-one right here. I have not gotten a hole-in-one on this hole all week, and this is a hole that is like super. I mean, we got a great opportunity for a hole-in-one here. I'm going to play with my number 1 bag. I think that's the bag I'm using for the rest of the holes. All right, here we go. I'm playing 1-to-1 minus 0.1. I've been dicking around on this hole. I've been at 1 to 1. I've been at minus 0.5. I've been at plus 0.5. I went from 1 to 1 to plus 0.5. Then I went to minus 0.5. And if I'm at minus 0.5, I should be doing 1 to 1. If I'm at plus 0.5, I should be doing minus 0.5. And if I'm, it's just like it's the spot. And because we've had tailwind this week, I think only one round has it not been where we had to kind of involve the sand. And so I've been a little bit higher in the pocket. This wind direction is awesome for us. Okay, 2.6. 2.6 minus 0.1, so 2.5. What was I thinking? I don't need a calculator for that. I'm a little centered in that pocket right now, and the way the wind's been blowing this week, I've been having to push it up a little to make sure I got room for the wind. 2.5 rings. Oh, man, am I glad I had a precision ball on that, because that was... Woo! Am I glad I had a precision ball on that, because that was shit. That was 5,000 rings great to the right. All right. Now that does not make up for not getting hole number 10, but at least I picked up something other than the par 4. So now I need to pick up 3, and 2 of them we have to pick up. So we got to pick up hole number 4 and hole number 8. So that only leaves me 5, 6, 7, and 9. So of those 4 holes, I have to pick up 3 of them. And I have it in the bag. I've picked up every hole this week except for hole number 9. So, and this one. Now I've picked this one up. So now it is just hole number 9. So let's get some luck going on it as well. And I went back and watched the first video on this one and changed to the 1 to 1 minus 0.1, and I made a change on hole number 9 as well. Let's see if we can get these in the hole. Yes, ma'am. Whew, nice. My opponent did the double hole-in-one. Look at that.
Good job, baby.
All right, that was hole number 12. Millisecond. All right, I'm back. What hole are we on? We're on hole number 13. All right, we have to get this par 4. I'm using an extra mile and a power 5 ball. Max topspin. Pull out the wind and add 1 ring back. And I missed this on the front because I hit it 2 rings great to the right, and you can't do that. If you hit it perfect, it goes perfect. But if you hit it great, 2 rings great, it doesn't go perfect. It's not good. All right, let me go look at the hole. Let me make sure it's the hole I'm thinking of. Hole number 4. Hole number 4. All right. We got to get through that little rough patch at the end. Take the wind out, put 1 ring back in. Now, the way that we were playing the other day, the wind was tailwind, but it was very slight. There actually wasn't enough. And there will be more than enough to put it back in. If I can get an opponent. If. That's a big if. Don't need my calculator on this one. Just need to make a great... Need to hit it perfect. No 2 ways around it. Okay, here we go. Max topspin. Pull out the wind. Put 1 ring back in. I should have a similar wind. It's like a 2-ring great to the right. That looks like it's good. That is good. That's exactly what they were looking for. Right there. I want to be right next to them. Okay, 3-7. Slightly less than 2 rings. And I'll put a ring of it back in. You just need to hit it perfect. Hitting it perfect. And I was leaning just a teeny little bit. You don't want to lean too much because that second bounce can clip the rough. But I was leaning just a little to the right, and I had just a titch of overpower on it. You really have to hit it really bad in order to like blow all the way through to the other side. So if you come through there a little hot, it's not the end of the world, but it's definitely better to come in with a little bit more than a little bit less. It's easy to get caught up in that rough there. On the front, I hit the 2-ring great to the right. It was so far off that if you looked out in front of where the ball ended up, even if it had more oomph on it, it still wouldn't have made it. There wasn't any fairway in front of it. Hitting it perfect. In the hole. All right. All right. We got that one. Now we have to we're in their stretch here. We got 5, 6, 7. This par 3. Of the par 3s, it's my least favorite, but we're going to get it in. And on the front, I over pulled it slightly, so let's see which way the wind's blowing. The wind is blowing almost exactly the opposite of the way it is right now. I'm going to do a plus 10 4 backspin. Grizzly, hey, hold on. Let me pick my ball. Let me pick my ball and go look at the hole. I believe I was using a 2-power ball here, and I was able to switch to one of those scarab balls. Hole number 14. Hole number 5. Yep, that's the hole. That is the hole. That's the one I'm thinking of. Here we roll. I've made 1 hole-in-1 on this, and it was in the opening round, and I really needed it. And as I was saying in that video, this is one of those holes. For me, every tournament we play, there's always a hole or two. You want to try and limit it. When it's more than a hole or two, it's one of those weeks. But then again, it might be one of those weeks for everybody, where everybody's having problems on some holes. But there's usually at least 1 hole in every tournament that's like, when I get there, I'm just like, hey, let's just go get minimum score and let's move on. Equals 0.9, 2.32 rings. .32 rings. .25, 2.32. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Woo! There's always one of those holes that you're just not expecting to get, and when you can pick that hole up, the other holes you're right there, but when you pick up the one you're not, that's been like giving you shit, and you pick it up when you really need it, it's like you got a bonus. And I definitely, like, that is not one of my favorite par threes. And to hit it twice in 1 week for me is that's like pretty big. But to hit it right now in the weekend round when you really need it. And I still have 3 holes that I've been right there. I've made 6 and 7. So that is fantastic. See if my opponent can get in. My opponent, the last time I hit the hole-in-one here, my opponent had rolled off the back and was in the sand. And I hit the hole-in-one and they were extremely excited. All right, hold on. All right. My nephew called, wanted to see what we were doing tomorrow on our work schedule. Had to take that call. Hole number 15, so we're on hole number 6. Hole number 6. All right. I am taking an extra mile and a kingmaker. Power 3. Some kind of low wind stuff I've got. I don't have any low wind Power 3 balls other than just the 3. The 3. I've accidentally spent a few of those. 10 or 20, I think. Alright, that's the best. That's as good as it gets. Alright, extra mile. There's my bag of choice. Bag number 1. I think I'm like 150 Apocalypse cards from that being bag number. Well, I don't know. Nah, I don't know if that'd be a bag anymore. I think really when your Apocalypse gets to level 7, it pretty much... It's got more topspin. It's got more curl. It's got more distance. It's more accurate. Better ball guide. I think at level 7 it might be. It might be even better ball guide. I think it is better. Or pretty close to the same. Even though right now with an Apocalypse 6 and an extra mile 9, the extra mile, there's times when the extra mile is the club just because of the ball guide. Alright, let's just tapping it down in there. It's 1 less than max topspin. 2.7. It's 2.1 per ring. I'm going to do a ring and a half. That's 3.1, so that's about a 10%. I'd rather over pull it than have that wind push me towards the sand. And I hit it 1 ring, 75 rings, 2 rings great to the left. Which will be just fine. What that'll do is when in the shot coming up, where the rough, not sand, and the rough kicks out and narrows the fairway up, it'll force you to either get in front of it like my opponent is, or you'll have to move more to the right in order to, and then have side spin to kind of give yourself a little bit of space. If you can look at the green right there. If you go back and rewind it just a titch and then freeze it, you can see how the green is flat and it's kind of bold towards the cup. But then once you roll past the cup, it goes over that little crest and then goes straight downhill. From where my opponent was, if you get just a little bit more distance, you're actually coming into the green so that you can avoid that Green's got a lot of movement on it. Times 2.7. 3.51 rings. .51 rings. Okay, and there's 3, 5, and the 1. Oh fuck, that was two. That was 2 rings great. That might have been 3 rings great to the right. Arr. We played this in one of the tournaments. It was one of the first tournaments that we played these holes, and I hit it too far in one round and had to take it with backspin with my sniper, and then on the front side I was in the perfect spot and got there with my grizz. And I ended up making it on both sides with 2 different clubs. But this week I've only gotten 1 Albie on this. Arr, and it unfortunately was not today. That was pitiful. Okay, take a deep breath. We got 3 holes here and we can pick up 2 shots. And we've got 1 we have to pick a shot up on. So I still got a shot of at least breaking 30. Not much of a shot, but okay. This is my favorite of the par 3s on this particular course. This is my favorite of the 3. Hole number 16. Hole number 7. Now this is not most people's favorite, but in rookie I like this hole, so we're gonna go get it done right here. And what happened to me on the front was I couldn't get the spot quite right, and my tail was going past the cup, like 2 squares past the cup. So I knew it was going to come in there too hot, and the only way it would go in is if I hit the flagpole, and I just barely missed the flagpole. And so it just bounced over the cup. And but this time we want to get it right. So I'm going to take one of the 0 power, low wind, 75 precision, and let's see if we can get this in the hole. I'm taking a Grizzly plus 60 to the cup. All right, here we go. We got to hit this perfect. You got to hit this perfect. I have to focus here. Let's actually think about what we're doing and not be dicking around. I'll have plenty of time to think about it while I'm trying to find an opponent. Here's the thing. This is the deal. We could speed it up because we're not going to win anything because we don't have shootouts anymore. We could speed it up, and I don't even think we pay for I think we just pay the entry fee, and then we don't have to pay per hole anymore. So since there's nothing on the line here, you could say, well, why are we even playing anybody? But if we start just where it's just us playing out there, that's not a good thing either. So, like, what's the solution? The solution is everybody here has agreed to play in the rookie tournament. And so I don't know if there's just like 3 things for the bracketing as far as like matching up with people. Like they're in tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So if they're a rookie, and if they're playing in a rookie tournament and they're in tier 3 and there's another person from tier 3, that should be the only criteria. Like all the rest of the stuff, trophy count, what clubs, hey, you are playing in that's who you're playing against. 2.7. All right, 4.332 rings. 3.5 rings off. This is what it was doing to me on the front, and I couldn't quite find the spot. So when you're in this spot, the only thing you can do is you got to hit the flagpole. 4.32. I'm going to run out of time. Hitting it perfect. I didn't know how much time was on the clock, so I just had to get it off. And it glitched. It was off. Arr! I had problems on that hole. I was in and out on the front, but had problems right there. I've made that hole 3 times this week. I practiced with my odd account at the beginning of the week, and I think I made it twice in that and twice in this. I think I made it 4 times this week. But not today, unfortunately. Okay, all right. Now we're in the consolation. Hopefully, now we're playing to try and get a top 10. Because we have to get this next hole. And we have to get this next hole. That's 2. And we've got hole number 9, that's 2. So that's 4, so that's 30. So, like, is that right? Am I at 27? So if I get the eagle here, that's 4, that's 31. Wow, I didn't realize that I was on that track because of not picking up hole number 10. And I played the front just flat and started off here going downhill. All right, let's eagle these last 2. Let's not get too jiggy here. Kingmaker, extra mile. Kingmaker, bag number 1. Okay, let's go look at it just so that we've seen it. We have no excuses. All right, it is the right hole. I'm trying to set this up in the spot where I could get, if it's perfect, it's perfect. But I can get like a 1, possibly a 2 ring grade to the right and a 1 ring grade to the left and still get through. I'm going to give myself, and I'm just like nothing. I don't want to be bringing out anything where I got to do anything special. And this is one of those holes that the extra mile with the ball guide, it does make a difference. It's always better when you're ball guide if you think about how ball guide works. So if you draw some arcs, like, the ball bouncing, bounce number 1, bounce number 2, so the distance between bounce number 1 and bounce number 2 is less than the distance from the tee box to bounce number 1, and bounce number 2 is to bounce number 3, that distance, so it's getting shorter, and each one's got progressively lower height than it's doing the bounce. Got that firmly in your mind? Let me think about this shot. I gotta make sure I get this right. My opponent got it right. Very nice. That works. That works. Very nice. Okay, it's 1 less than max. One and a half. There we go. It's a ring and a half. Hitting it perfect. Just trying to focus on it. This par 4 is a must. Like, you have to get this. And that should drop nicely down to the cup. you have zero chance of that drifting all the way down there and going in. But it does kind of float down to it. It looks like a lot closer than what it is right there. And you can see right there, see that there's an indentation. If you draw a line from where the pin is to my ball, you can see that little indentation there, and it's kind of just following that down. If you had enough speed in order to get to it up high, it would have rolled out of that. But if your speed's right, it'll catch it and it'll just float it down to the cup. The funnel. All right. We got the eagle we needed to get. Now, I have not got hole number 9. Hole number 9 is the only hole this week that I have not picked up the Albie. So I've picked up something. I've got the shot on every other hole. I didn't put a round together where I got them all. But, and I was like in 90th or 70 some odd place. You can tell these brackets, like, I'm at minus 29 in 38th place. And the minus 29s go down to 48th, 49th. So if this was an opening round bracket, we're talking about 29s, like, because there were still a couple of people down here that hadn't started playing that had tiebreakers on me. They have started playing now. So 29 or better just to get into the top 50. That's brutal. And some of that has to do with the ball inventory. Like, it can level the playing field. You can go out here, like, there's a lot of these holes I'm getting it done with an extra mile on a Kingmaker, but you can bring out a ball that's got top spin boost. If you got lower developed clubs, you can equalize the field. All right, here we go. Hole number 18. Need to get the Albie on this. So I have no clue what's at the top. I have no clue, but I do know that there's got to be somebody with better than a 32. But, like, I'm not going to have any, like, top 5 aspirations unless I shoot a 32. So that means I've got to get an Albie on this. And I am just like, okay. Here we go. Now, this is one of those holes that if you mess up on the drive, and I said this on the front, and then I damn near messed up on the drive. I did hit it 2 rings great. I'm taking that bag. I noticed that my opponent, I'm not doing any overpower, and I'm trying to just, like, drift it up there. My opponent got that little bit of extra distance. They did some overpower. And you could compensate for that by just bringing out a bigger ball so you wouldn't have to overpower. You could make it more consistent. You could bring out, especially since we know we're going to have tailwind, you could bring out a 5 power ball or a 4 power ball and take the wind out. And they were in their long iron range, and it's always better, in my opinion, it's always better to, if you can, to get into the next club. Especially if you can get into short iron range. Especially. 3-6. There's 3-1. I'll do a ring and 3/4. No overpower. Hitting it perfect. Need 2 perfects in a row here, and we need that second perfect to go in the hole. Okay, I'm in a spot 383. My notes are 386, 384. So that's about the range I've been in, and it's been in mid club. I think the next time I play this hole, I'm going to come out here with a bigger power ball, and I'm going to try and get farther up there. if I can get into a different club, because I'm going to change the angle of this. I've changed the spot that I'm in now as far as like taking this rough bump. I was 3 rings into the rough, and it always seemed like it took an irregular bounce. It just seemed like you'd chase it around. Like sometimes it'd go in. 2.8. And I'm at mid club divided by 1.1. It's 3 rings exactly. And I moved it up to where I'm 2 rings off. And it kind of stabilizes the ball guide a little. But it still is not getting, I'm still not sinking it. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Let's have a week where I got every hole and I ended with an Albie. And I've been closer. I missed a couple of really close ones. The one on the front and the one on the opening round. That's the first time I didn't put any spin on it. I just tried to push it forward and trying to get it to go through there. In my experience, it was rolling past it a little, but just putting even the slightest bit of topspin on. But I was hoping that maybe it would stay truer to the ball guide if I just pushed it forward a little. But it definitely didn't have enough steam. And what's funny here is I took off. I think I did the wrong adjustment on that, even if I would have hit it perfect. Even if everything else would have been right, I think I plugged in the wrong number there. Bummer. I was trying to think what I. All right, we'll see how far that takes. The bracket is tight, tough. So you know that everybody up at the top. I mean, like the 30s. The 29s must go to. I'm just curious. It'll be fun to go look at this. So I mean, a minus 31. You'd look at that on a normal week, and that would be like a pretty good score. But that's like going to be shit here. I'll be surprised if this is a top 10. I really think that the bracket's going to be super tight up there at the top with as many people, because there was already a bunch of people that had started playing when I looked, and there were still 16 people ahead of me. So that means that a lot of these people came in with a 30, and if they were able to pick that up, this could be tight. Yeah, not even a top 10. And I'm still going to stick with, I think, a 33 is the winning score at the top. 32 start in 5th place. And there are 2 33s at the top. Now, let's see what their tiebreakers were. They had a 31, they would have got me in that. So I'd have had to shoot a 34, and I got them. So I would have had to shoot, if I shot a 33, which is my goal, I would have came in second. I'd have to shoot a 34 outright in order to stand alone. So 2 33s. Congratulations. Let's check them out. Let's see what they got. They're sporting some cheddar. Got a few banners. That's a newer account. But this is the type of course that really benefits like that, because the par 4s are kind of setup shots. And if you've got the stuff, you're going to get on the green and you're going to make a chip or a putt. And the other holes, there are some great holes for that, because you can really kind of watch the second bounce. If you've got lower ball guide, you can go into one of your accounts that's got better ball guide and see where your bounces are at. Everybody's sporting some cheddar. They got some pro banners. Joe Mama in third. All right. This will be their first banner. This will be Joe Mama's first banner in a full tournament. No, they got... Is that a 9-hole cup? I think that's 9-hole cups. Yeah, so this will be their first banner. Congratulations to them. Excellent. Coming in with a 31 and not getting it done. So these 31s, their opening rounds, 33. There was one of the 33s. All comes down to tiebreakers. Opening round 30 to 29. What separated me from them? Qualifying rounds 16 to 14. They shot a 29 opener as well. All right, there you have it. That was actually a pretty decent score. I'm disappointed I couldn't eke into the top 10, but that hole number 10 is what sank me. That shot. And I can't even remember now. I've tried to put it out of my memory banks. I can't even remember now what happened on hole number 10, but I know it was something really stupid. I think I was in the right spot and I just missed the shot. I hit a 2-ring great, and you can't do that. I mean, you shouldn't do that, and can't. That cost me big time. All right, there you have it. Thanks for watching. Hey, everybody. Hopefully you had a great week. I haven't even looked to see what is coming up, so I'm sure, 100% sure that there's probably some 9-hole cup, because like there's no deal. Snow Mountain 9-hole cup. Where's it going to be played? Grunberg Slopes. I don't remember any of those holes, but I'm sure once I go look at them, I'll remember them. I'll try and put together a walkthrough this weekend, or this week, tomorrow. It's already this week. Tomorrow's Monday. Yeah, I'll try and put together a walkthrough tomorrow and go over the holes, take a look at them. Let's see what the maintenance deal is, because I'm curious about... we really haven't had... I'm surprised, because a lot of these app games, you get maintenance stuff that happens on a fairly regular basis, but like we don't have this. This doesn't happen very often. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. Hopefully everybody else had a great tournament. That was a good tournament. I had good rounds. I just couldn't put 2 rounds together. Thanks for watching.